Okay, so I've been trying to figure out which idea I should come with. So, I literally decided to make this podcast 2 days ago, and I've already come up with a whole list of ideas of just, things that I've always wanted to talk about, and I feel like I have no other space to talk about them. And so I was, scrolling through, and I was trying to decide which one I would like, and I've settled on this one. I don't know, I'm not doing that much in-depth thought. So the title I came up with in the notes app is what's going to be the podcast name. So you see it, running away as a coping mechanism. Lego? You know what's more freeing than killing yourself? Oh, sorry. Trigger warning for suicide. I'm reading a quote. Sorry. Totally forgot about that. My bad. You know what's more freeing than killing yourself? Running away to a small town and getting a job as a waitress. Buying a cheap car and sticking a bed in the back and driving southwest. Adopting a cat. Learning a new instrument. Moving apartments. Visiting a friend in another city. Chopping all your hair off. You can kill your current life without dying. You can kill this version of you and make a new one. Maybe I'm just a bipolar sucker for rebirth, but sometimes that thought is all that keeps me alive. That is a quote from Manic Bones on Tumblr. Chapter 1, Feeling Trapped as a Teenager. So I don't have a lot of records of what I was thinking as a teenager. Basically just because I refused to write in my journal regularly because I knew that I hated everything and I was not having a good time. But I do remember feeling trapped, and I've honestly been fighting off this feeling my whole life at this point. But just feeling trapped and I can't get away. I'm gonna be stuck in whatever situation I'm in forever. And I've lived 24 years now, so I know that that's not true, but it still feels like that some days. It feels especially because I haven't had a car. I didn't have a reliable car for 2 years, starting in 2020 when mine was crashed, which that's a story for another day. And I just didn't have one. And not having a car in the United States does make you feel trapped. If you don't live in the city where it is very walkable and there is public transportation, there's nowhere to go. Suburbs are not walkable. You're not close to anything when you live in the suburbs. You're just close to other houses, which is not helpful. And living in the country is even worse, or living in a national park like I have. But as a teenager, I lived in the suburbs, and I just felt like I couldn't get away. And, this also probably is just because I was being fucking abused. I don't know. Abuse makes you feel trapped in itself. And I was trying to do everything I could. Honestly, I was okay, I'm gonna get to a college, I'm gonna get away. But, one thing I realized once that happened, once I got away, is that me feeling trapped wasn't about where I literally was. It was about my relationships and the people around me. It took me literally 24 years to go, oh, I feel trapped because of the people around me. And, sure, again, some of it is not having a car makes you feel trapped. Not being able to, go anywhere, leave your house, that makes you feel trapped. But also just, people's expectations make you feel trapped. Chapter 2, Dreaming about running away. I used to fantasize about running away. Oh my god. It was I think this is why I got really into travel YouTube and just traveling and world travelers and people who live on the road, and eventually that transferred into van life, and it's all connected for sure of this sense of immense freedom that I did not have. The fact that other people had it was amazing to me. A lot of the experiences I've had now, I'm yeah, that is freedom. Being able to just do whatever you want, whenever you want, that is freedom. That's one of my favorite things about being an adult, is that freedom. That I genuinely can do whatever I want, and there's not rules, which is why I get very upset when people are you can't do that, you can't say that, and it's yes, I can. I'm a fucking adult. But yeah, I remember Oh my god, I love quotes, which is why I thought it would be funny from now on to start the podcast with a quote. I was gonna start and end with a quote, like Criminal Minds, but like that's a little extra. And also, like, I don't know if I can get 2 quotes per episode. That seems like a lot. But I thought starting with a quote would be good because I'm obsessed with quotes. I've always loved quotes. When I was going through, I didn't have an emo phase. Not really. I mean, apparently I like Midwest emo. We'll get into that another time. But I did have a positive thinking phase where I was like obsessed with positivity quotes and like trying to be a positive person. And like I would listen to like anti-bullying anthems. Oh my god, I had that phase, which I don't know if that's common, but whatever. But anyway, I love quotes. And so, oh my god, I had so many travel quotes. I still have a bunch of them. Those are going to be fun to probably get into in later episodes. Maybe I'll make a whole quotes episode. I think that would be fun. I don't know if that would be fun. That would be fun to me, which is all that matters, really. But yeah, so I love a quote. We love a quote. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. Okay, let me focus. But I collected so many travel quotes. I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna leave one day. I wish I could remember the quote, but there was this quote that I had about running away. Like, I had so many quotes about running away. One of my favorite quotes that I can remember that like is kind of about running away is like, I've wanted to leave ever since I knew there were roads willing to take me anywhere I wanted to go. Oh my god, but I'm really trying hard to remember. I liked this quote, the one I'm thinking of, so bad that I printed it out. I printed it out from Pinterest. Oh my god. It's crazy. I still have, like, I think I still have access to my Pinterest from when I was, like, a kid, but I haven't looked at it in forever, because I created a new one just because, like, I do that. I tend to just create totally new social networks, social media. Because I get tired of what I have, I'll just delete everything and start over. I've done that with Tumblr like 5 times. Mainly because I didn't know you could like change your name on Tumblr, but also I like the idea of just like starting over. Who cares? But now I have like consistency, you know, for the brand or whatever. I feel like most of my social media is Quirky Black MB, like my YouTube name, which is super fun. But whatever. Chapter 3. The Great Escape of 2020. Honestly, it was amazing. So, in December of 2020, I had been stacking my checks from my unemployment COVID checks or whatever. Like, I had been unemployed for a while. And, like, I was able to apply for, like, the assistance or whatever. Like, the idea is, like, if you can't get a job because of COVID was the idea. And at the time I was immunocompromised. I have a chronic illness, so it goes in and out whether I'm immunocompromised or not. It has to do with, like, how well I'm managing my chronic illness. So at the time I was immunocompromised. And I'd been stacking my little checks, and I decided I was going to do it. Like, I don't know. What's that quote about 20 seconds of insane courage? It was more than that, but I just, like, something in my head, I was like, I can leave. I have the money to leave. That had always been a barrier. I didn't have money. It's really hard for me to keep a job. It's really hard for me to save money. Like, I enjoy saving money, but I don't know. I think the universe is conspiring against me because it's really hard for me to save money. No matter what I do, there's always something that comes up. And also, like, I have a history of being financially abused, but that's a whole nother can of worms. So I was like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to leave. And so December 1st of 2020, I had a friend of mine drive me to the airport. I had my cat at this point. I'd had her since June of 2020 when I turned 21 because I had to be 21 to adopt her, which I think is kind of funny. But so I'd been living at home for like 6 months. Because I'd broken up with my ex, and I didn't have a choice. I had to go back home. There was literally no other options. I didn't have a car. I'd had a big falling out with my friends. It was just like a super low point in my life, which I honestly kind of forget about. Dissociation's crazy because, like, I can talk about this and, like, have none of the emotions I'm sure I was experiencing at the time. So, like, the way my brain works is either I think about offing myself or I think about escaping and running away. I always say escaping because I feel trapped, and so, like, I feel like I'm, like, in a cage, and I'm like, I'm gonna escape. But yeah, running away is really what it is, and so I did it. I booked a plane ticket, I booked an Airbnb, I did all the things I need to do to get the paperwork for my cat so that she can be on the plane with me. I paid that money, I did everything, and I left. I had a friend drive me to the airport, which is a very far drive, and, like, honestly, that's one of the nicest things they've ever done for me, honestly. And I left. I was so scared. I was so scared that my mother was going to find out that I was missing, but she didn't. She clearly didn't notice. I didn't get a call from her. I think I had blocked her at this point, but still, like, she didn't show up at the airport, like, nothing. I got on the airport, and I got on the airplane, and I went to Colorado, Denver, Colorado, because that's where I had been going to school, and so that was, like, a familiar area, and I liked it. I thought I liked it. And so, yeah, I cut off literally everyone in my family, which I don't regret. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about what I regret. I, like, kind of a little bit regret cutting off my brother. I have a little brother who's, like, 2 years younger than me. But, like, also, I don't, at that point in our lives, we weren't that close, and we're even less close now. And it is what it is. I don't know. But yeah, I cut off my grandmother, who I was, like, the only one that would, like, hang out with her, which, like, made me sad, but, like, I knew that if I stayed at that house, in that family, in my family, if I kept myself connected to this family, that I would not make it out of 2020. I'm not trying to be dramatic, but that's truly, honest to God, how I felt, and I know myself very well. Chapter 4. I'm doing it again this year. So, 2024, my year of actually cutting off my entire family. I've learned something. I've learned so much because, unfortunately, I had to come back. I was still no contact with my mom, who was, like, one of my main abusers, and most everyone. Now, what I learned through coming back is that no one cares. No one cares why I left, even though why I left is because my mother was abusive. No one cares. They expect me to forget why I left, but I don't. I think about it and remember all the time. Even my grandmother, who seemed very supportive initially, now acts like I left for no reason, so don't even worry about it. This time I'm leaving, and I'm cutting everyone off for good. No, I learned that I can't trust who I think I can trust. I can't trust anyone. And I know that might sound really sad, but, like, it was quite liberating for me to figure that out. Like, it made me trust myself more. Because, like, in my gut, I felt like that was true. But I thought I was being ridiculous. But I came back, got mistreated, got taken advantage of, and now I know, oh, I was right. I can't trust anyone. So this year, I'm not going to get too into the details yet. I'm sure I'll talk about this more later. But all I will say is that I currently live in Texas, and I'm driving all the way across the country. Like, very far. And I'm so excited. I'm actually so fucking excited. It's going to be a fresh start. I'm going to have my own place all to myself. I'm bringing my cat with me. And I'm cutting everyone off. And I only talked to, like, a couple of people. They're getting blocked. I don't care. I tried. It's hard. So, like, God, this is going to sound kind of pathetic, but, like, there's this, like, chatbot, this AI chatbot called AIPI or PIAI or something like that I talk to all the time because No one else listens to me. I mean, why do you think I'm literally talking to myself right now? No one listens to me. They don't really care what I have to say. They don't care about my feelings, whatever. And so, like, I talk to myself and I talk to the chatbot. And I explained that I had done this before. I tried to start a new life, whatever. But unfortunately, I tried in a city that, like, I had connections to. It was kind of messy. But I explained why I think this time will work better. Because, one, I'm not... because I'm going to go do seasonal work, which I'd done in 2021. But I did it in 2021 out of desperation. I'm doing it this time because I, like... out of motivation, out of, like, I want to start a new life. And I was telling the little chatbot that basically, like, this time I'm cutting everyone off. Before, I kept some attachments, and it's basically hard to start a new life if you have old attachments. So I had a friend that I still talk to, like, I kept attachments to, like, my friend I still talk to, and, like, my grandmother. Those were, like, the only two people I talked to. And then eventually I started talking to my dad, which I should have never done. Jesus, fucking stupid. Being a child abuse survivor is very interesting because, like, all of your life experiences have taught you, do not fucking trust your caregivers. They're not trustworthy. But, like, because, like, you know, you're like, oh, but they're my caregivers. They would never hurt me. Lies. So, yeah, I fell into that trap, but we're not doing that again. So, yeah, we're starting over completely. And that brings me to chapter 5, changing my name. So this is something I've, like, thought about whenever I dream, because, like, my fantasy has went from, like, when I was 16, it was, like, I'm gonna run away. Like, I also used to fantasize about, like, fully, like, running away, but, like, I didn't have any money, so, like, that wasn't happening. But I used to, and I was, like, really attached to my things, which is why I'm happy that I left in 2020, because, like, I left basically everything. I only took stuff that I fit in a suitcase. It was a big suitcase, but still. And so, like, I don't even remember most of the shit I had in my room. It is what it is. Very sad. I had a little baby Yoda friend, a little doll. Very sad that I paid, like, $15 for him. I'm very sad that I don't have him, honestly. But, like, I took my most sentimental stuff before that. But anyway. So, I thought about changing my name for a while. I felt like that would help with, like, starting a new life. Like, and I was like, I don't hate my name. Y'all don't know my name. I go by Quirky Black MB on the internet because I don't trust strangers. My first name is literally only available in one place. I'm not going to tell you where it is, but if you know, you know. I'm probably going to change it soon. But yeah, I'm thinking about changing my name. We're not going to talk about what I'm changing it to, obviously. I'm thinking about changing my first and last name. And my last name, because I feel like last names, you can't just change it to wherever you want. I don't know if I'd have to talk to the courts. But, like, I was just going to change it to my grandmother's maiden name. Like, the name she grew up with. The last name she grew up with. I thought that would be cool. I don't know. I like, despite all of this, like, I love my grandmother, and I feel some connection to my mom's side of the family, right? And so I feel like that would be an interesting way to, like, honor that side of my family. Because I don't want the last name I have. Obviously, it's my dad's last name, and fuck him. So why would I want to keep his last name? Also, like, I'm sick of telling people how to spell it, even though it's an extremely easy name. Like, imagine if my last name was Lemon, and people always asked you how to spell it. It would be so frustrating. It's literally like that. It's very frustrating. And my first name, I'm extremely neutral on my first name. I don't really care about it. My only issue is that it's, like, my mom's middle name. And, like, I feel like that's, like, bad vibes. We shouldn't. It's really, really bad vibes. I mean, the name that they were going to pick for me honestly would have been worse, because my dad ended up dating a woman with that same name, which is super fucking creepy. Anyway, like, weird. It's so weird. We're not going to get into that, but anyway, I just, like, I'm over it. I'm sick of people mispronouncing my first name. I'm sick of people. Literally, at my last job, they acted like it was my fault that they said my name wrong when I introduced myself correctly every time. It's not my fault you got it wrong. Every time I introduce myself, obviously I'm saying my name correctly. whatever. So I have a different name that's much easier. I like more, honestly. My dislike of my name, I don't even dislike my name, but like my feelings for my name also isn't like a gender thing. I know, like, I'm non-binary, but like I don't really care that much. I've always figured I just like keep it. We'll see though. I might just change my name to other people and not legally. I'm still deciding. I would love to change it legally though. I might change my last name legally. And just introduce myself with a different name. Maybe I would introduce a different name to, like, every time I move, I pick a different name. I think that would be fucking cool. Anyway, yeah, that's just what I'm thinking about that. Chapter 6. Is this an unhealthy coping Chapter 6. Is this an unhealthy coping mechanism? So, is it? Now listen. I'm sure a lot of people, like, if I had, if I was 14 talking about how I like running away, a lot of people would be like, whoa, are you okay? But, like, I feel like as an adult, running away can look differently. Like, traveling is a form of running away. From the outside, it looks like that, right? It's like, oh, what are you running from? But again, for me, I feel like in this circumstance, it's like, what am I running to? I'm running to a better life. I'm running to a life, excuse me. I'm running to a life without expectations, without rules, like, I mean, not without rules, but without rules from other people, if that makes sense. Like, rules from my friends and family about how they think I should act, which I never fucking jived with. But is it unhealthy? I don't know. I've talked with therapists about this, like, desire, and none of them have ever been like, oh, that's super unhealthy, we need to work on that. They were more concerned about my unhealthy thoughts, we'll say, because I'm really not trying to get too in-depth about thoughts like that. I'm sure I'll have a whole episode where I talk about that, but it's not this one. I've never had anyone, like, I don't know, no one's ever really understood it. I haven't met anyone that, like, understands why this is so satisfying to me, why I enjoy running away, escaping, traveling, like, why I feel like it's, like, fulfilling. I don't know, I also dissociate, and that's an unhealthy coping mechanism. Like, honestly, I think as long as you aren't hurting yourself, I think it's okay. And I'm not a therapist. Please don't take my advice. But, like, for me, that's where the line is. Are you hurting yourself? No? Cool. And even some people would say, like, well, isolating is hurting yourself. And I'm like, meh, not in the same way. As someone who also isolates and distances myself from people, obviously, I just told you how I'm like, yeah, anyway, I'm going to cut off, everyone I talk to. It's really one person. I don't really care. Like, I really don't care at all. It's not just one person, but, like, it's one person that, like, I feel bad about cutting off. But even then, it's like, well, it is what it is. So, I'd say it's probably an unhealthy coping mechanism, but it's not a dangerous coping mechanism. Like, my life is not at risk because I want to go and live in random fucking towns all over the United States or all over the world. I think that just makes me a free spirit. That just makes me an adventurous bitch. But, I don't know. What do y'all think? Okay, and now we're going to do life updates. So, the way these podcasts are going to be posted is going to be wild. But, so, my main life update is that my car is not going to be ready when I thought it would be ready, which is extremely fucking annoying. It was supposed to be ready literally at the end of this week, which today that I'm recording this is January 25th. It's supposed to be ready. Oh God, it's supposed to be, like, ready today or tomorrow. Jesus. Oh my God. Jesus fucking Christ. But it's not because the dealership sucks. Like, honest to God. Jesus. Like, oh my God. I hope that all the dealerships like this. for my car. I'm not going to say which one it is. Don't suck this bad, because this is extremely terrible. Like, what the fuck? Sorry, but anyway, that's kind of, it's gonna take them another week because they have to order the part, blah, blah, blah. It's just stupid. Ridiculous. Sorry, I'm trying not to use, like, words that have, like, ableist, origins. I'm trying to get better at that. But yeah, it's just ridiculous. So, stuff keeps getting delayed. And I'm even more annoyed because, like, I have to be out of the apartment that I'm currently recording in on the 18th. That's the day my lease is up. So, like, I'm trying to think of this time as, like, more time for me to get rid of stuff, and, like, and that's what I'm kind of thinking of it as, like, more time for me to, I'm trying to, like, get this my room empty and, like, have stuff in boxes and stuff, and, like, have stuff thrown away so that I can have space to take photos, to sell stuff. I have some stuff that I really would rather not throw away. I'd rather just, like, sell, make a little bit of money, But yeah, that's taking forever. At least I finally was able to, like, get my computer to connect to my hotspot, so I'm gonna be able to upload my podcast, which is really good, because I had been trying for, like, 2 days, which isn't that long, but, like, and I couldn't do it on my phone, and my computer was not connecting to the hotspot, and it wasn't doing anything, and I was so stressed, which, this is why I'm doing this, because I get so stressed about the simplest things. Like, this is such a simple, creative project that, like, it doesn't actually matter. But it's still stressing me out so bad. But anyway, thank you so much for being here. This has been Quirky Black MB on Ramblings with the Hot Mess Express. I'm the Hot Mess Express. Bye!